please like this video and please subscribe to my channel. This is the creature we will be making today with Kryolan's Day Glo UV Paints and Mehron Paradise Paints. Hello, this is Gaston Eliasgali once again, here to show you another Halloween makeup tutorial 2018. Putting on some vinyl gloves just to be clean and don't get any paint under my fingernails. So I'm going to start with the Elmer's glue stick. I'm using the purple colored one, which is the most water soluble kind, and I'm going to apply it by gently pressing it against my brow in an upward direction to get the hair as flat as possible. The more flat it is, the less texture I will have in my paint. After I do that, I'm going to take the hair dryer and dry the first layer. I didn't do this in the video, but if I were to use this makeup to go out, I would probably do a second and a third layer of the glue along with the hair dryer as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a MAC Pro setting powder, visible powder, to set the glue and make the area a little bit smoother. Also, it's going to prevent any of the makeup that I apply on top or my brushes to stick to the glue. I'm going to smooth it out all over the brows very gently, get it all in there to take away any extra texture, and then smooth the rest out around my face. Once I finish this, I'm going to take a foundation brush, which is a flat, rounded, medium-sized brush with a tapered end, and I'm going to dip it into a mixing medium. Mix the Mehron Paradise Violet color and create this line with the edge of the brush, extended from the inner corner of the brow all the way to the back of the head. If I were to do a completed look to go out in, I would probably continue all the way to the back and finish the back of my head. But for purpose of this video, I am only going to be doing the front and sides of my face and head and the front and top part of my torso. So go ahead and contour in a C shape around the brow, covering the whole entire brow and going on into the contour part of the cheekbone. Make sure you get the ears as well. Now you're going to go ahead and take a round eyeshadow brush. I use a synthetic nylon brush, which is for painting, rather than an eyeshadow brush because I don't like to ruin my brushes. Make it into a shape of like a martini glass, like I like to call it. Don't worry too much about it being perfect. Now take a regular beauty blender, dip it a little bit in the mixing medium, and go ahead and tap on the top of the white in the middle of your forehead to blend it all out. Now, like I said, don't worry about it being perfect. You want it to be organic. After all, this is supposed to be a real creature. Go ahead and replicate with the foundation brush the other side of your face with the blue violet Mehron Paradise color. These colors, by the way, are water soluble. You can use water if you'd like. In this case, I did use water because I want to remove it quickly when I'm done with this video. If I were to go out, or if I was doing this on a client, I would be using the mixing mediums, which are a little bit more expensive than water, and they would last longer through the night. They also have a cream-based or a silicone-based mixing medium, which is excellent. And they also have an alcohol-based mixing medium, which is phenomenal in a gel form, but I recommend using that only on the body. So for the face, you are going to use the water-based mixing medium. Once this is complete, you're going to go ahead and cover the ears all the way inside and in the back. Make sure you have no skin exposed, because you do want to look like this is your blue skin. Once again, for this video's sake, I am only painting the areas that are visible to you. If I were doing this professionally or for myself to go out, I would be covering my entire body, torso, and head with paint. Get your other ear in. Make sure you cover all of the skin. Go ahead and do the other side of your arm and shoulder. By the way, these Mehron Paradise colors that I'm using are not UV Day Glo. The only ones that are UV Day Glo are the Krylon ones that I will be using later. Although, I have to say that this white that I have on right now does have a glow to it. Ooh, baby. I'm going to use another painting brush that's kind of could be a foundation brush. It's the same, it's flat and rounded on the top to apply this white to my lip and mustache. You can make any shape you want. I like to look like my lips are a little more puckered for this creature's concept. Painting my beard white. Creating and having fun with different shapes to make me look different than I look normally. I'm going to take the other rounded eyeshadow brush or painter's brush with less of the mixing medium or less water to make it a little more solid. These colors are very workable. You can get pretty much any consistency you like. You can make them very transparent or translucent, or you can, like you see on the top of my forehead, or you can make them very solid as you see here right now. But I will be working this in layers, so I will be blending this out in just a bit to make it look a little bit more organic and more like skin. Now I'm applying a little bit of the Lagoon Blue from the Mehron palette, Mehron Paradise palette, and blending it out with the Beauty Blender. Now this Beauty Blender is a little bit moist with the mixing medium or water, whichever you choose to use. Same technique. Blend out the white area that you're going to apply underneath the eye and just work at it in layers. I do have to say that if you really get to see the details on the blending here, it is a little bit linear. and that's because I used water. This product dries very quickly with water. So if you were using a mixing medium to activate this product, it would probably be a little bit smoother. Nonetheless, I do want an organic effect on this creature, a specific one. As you can see here, I'm giving a bunch of texture to the top of my head to make it look a little bit more organic. I'm not covering it in a smooth fashion. Once again, with the Beauty Blender, I'm going to blend everything out so that it looks a little bit more translucent in the middle. I did clean the Beauty Blender with some water so that I could work the white without getting it messy and dirty. I'm going to go ahead and clean out the lines over here and connect the white to the blue and make it a little bit cleaner around the edges. Go ahead and blend again. The foundation brush, I'm going to use the violet blue and some black to give it a little bit of a shadow and make it look a little more Halloweenish. Kind of turning it into like a blue-black, but it gives it a lot of contour to my head, so it kind of is changing the shape of my head by putting the black or darker colors there. I'm going to introduce the Krylon UV Glow Day Glo palette, and I'm going to take the neon blue that is in this palette. They're called Aquacolors. Now, I have to say, I'm not impressed with this blue. It didn't really glow with the blue light that I have. Maybe in a black light, it will glow more. So I added a little bit of the fluorescent yellow on top to give it a little bit more texture and kind of reassure that it was going to glow, because this color definitely does glow. So by layering on a thin coat of that on top of this blue, it's creating kind of like a greenish tint. I'm adding some solid pieces of the yellow, the fluorescent yellow on top, just to give it a little bit of a splotchy, more organic look. And I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other side as well. Now I kind of forgot to do the blue on this other side, on the second side, but it's okay. Either way, it turned out pretty much the same. That blue really did not make much of a difference. Now I'm going to go ahead and paint with the same brush and cover my whole entire lid and go with the shape that I already have there up to the border of the blue and blend it in a little bit, so it gives it a little bit of a green effect, translucency. Now again, if you want more coverage, just use less of the liquid that you're using to mix it, whether it's the mixing medium or water. And go ahead and replicate that on the other side. I'm being very careful when I go above and top of the other colors because I do not want it to blend too much or get sloppy and messy. But I do like it to look organic. Go ahead and get a nice thick coat on there, or a few coats. Now you're gonna do like a V shape as you did on the top of the head with the blue. You're now gonna do that with the fluorescent yellow and connect it to a point. If you like, you can drag it down further and make it more pointy, a little more sinister. Or you can be a friendly creature like I am. Go ahead and replicate the other eye in the same shape. Try to get it as even as possible, but keep it organic. The less liquid you use, the more solid the color will be. In this case, I want it to be a little bit translucent. I also realized while I was doing this, since this was my first time using these paints, that if you apply these colors on top of white, some of them really stand out more. And if you use water to mix them, they're going to be a little bit more splotchy or streaky than if you used a mixing medium. Now I'm using the hot pink to do a little brightness on the top of the head, and I am applying it on top of the white to make it stand out more than it would if I applied it directly to my skin. Go ahead and replicate the other side just the same way. Now I'm making a little bit of a splotchy texture to make it look organic. And I'm adding a second layer just to make it a little bit more intense and brighter. Saturated, that's the word. A little bit of dots in the middle of my lip and down the front of my neck and torso. And now with a liner brush, I'm going to go ahead and add some dots to the side of my cheekbone, basically where you would put the highlight if you were doing regular makeup. With the light blue Brilliant, and from the Mehron palette, I'm going to go ahead and cover the rest of my nose and underneath my nose and the area in between my mustache and my nose. Looking back, I probably would have done this in white as well. It would have looked nice as well. Now with the violet blue Mehron Paradise color, I am just going to outline the eyes to give it a little bit more of a consistency and blend out into the nose area with my beauty blender. And replicate the other side. Extend the nose just to give it a contour to the nose and make the nose look thinner, which will definitely change my fat nose into a skinny, long, nose. Creature nose. It's funny how my face looks all pushed into the middle. Now with the fluorescent green, I'm just going to extend 3 little whiskers, or little flares out the sides of my eyes, kind of like sea plant lashes or something, and kind of do the same thing. Add a little texture to my brow with the green and extend it into the already existing fluorescent yellow on the sides of my head. Add a little green to the side of the pink on my lips. Now I'm adding some fluorescent orange to the top of my head to kind of tie in that white area in the middle of my head, and putting it a little second layer of the fluorescent pink right on top of it to give it some life. On the tips of my ears, I'm adding the fluorescent orange. These lashes are blacklight activated. I'm going to go ahead and take a scissor and cut them into 3 pieces each lash, and then apply them in different areas of my head and face in a non-traditional way, so that it kind of looks like either little pieces growing out of me or a piece of coral or plant attached to my forehead. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and add pieces to my corner of my lashes. I would probably have added some white mascara or some white body paint onto my lashes before I glued these lashes on. Here we go. And they're set. Next, I'm going to go ahead and use this Jacquard Products Loose Pigment. They're not made for makeup uses, for cosmetic use, but since I'm already having a layer of paint on my face, I decided to put it on anyway. But you can use a loose pigment that's a little bit purple or blue iridescence to it, just to make your skin look radiant and highlighted. I applied it to the cheekbones, and I'm applying it to the lips, tops of my ears. Next one I'm using is also from Jacquard Products, but it is a gold yellow. And I'm applying it on top of the green areas on my head. Notice I am not using it around my eye area or on top of my eyes. For that, I would actually use a eyeshadow pigment or an eyeshadow that's in an iridescent color. This third one that I'm using is a gold color from the same brand, Jacquard Products, and I'm using it around my body and on the top of my head to make the oranges pop. And that's my look. I hope you liked it. Enjoy, and please come back and see me again for the next Halloween makeup tutorial. Have a good one. Please check out my website, makeupartbygaston.com, and of course, please like my video and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support.